Hi everyone, Jennifer here. Today I have a really fun book review for you and a commentary, and it's for Primates of Park Avenue by Wednesday Martin. Primates of Park Avenue comes out June 2nd, so this week. And the way I heard about it was Wednesday and I have the same editor at Simon & Schuster, Trish Todd, the fabulous Trish Todd, and she was tweeting about this book and I saw the cover and I said, I have to read that book. So Trish sent it to me and I read it last month. And this book is so much fun. It's going to be the book of the summer. I just know it. Why is it called Primates of Park Avenue? Well, Wednesday Martin is actually an anthropologist and a primatologist. And she and her family moved to the Upper East Side in Manhattan. And she observes the people there and the way they behave and the way they act through the lens of an anthropologist or a primatologist. So she views them as though they were, primates in the jungle. And I think that that is so smart and funny because it's true. We almost are no different than the primates in the jungle. If you live in a city, there are probably, social standards, rites of passage, cultural things that are unique to your city. And if you look at them from the lens of an outsider, some of them are ridiculous, right? So this is what's so great about Primates of Park Avenue. The Upper East Side is like nowhere on earth, basically. It's one of the richest zip codes in the world, and so it is so fascinating to hear her observations. Now, I just want to say a disclaimer. Obviously, not everyone on the Upper East Side is like the people that she writes about in these books. In fact, I know a lot of people who live there, and they are lovely, wonderful people. So, I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger, okay? In this review, I am just talking about the people that she writes about in this book. I like to approach everything through the lens of a Madame Chic philosophy, which is, how I look at everything in life. I was marveling that the women that she writes about in this book are basically the antithesis of Madame Chic. I think the only thing they have in common is that they like to look presentable always. But the women in the book do it for the wrong reasons. It's to intimidate or to flaunt their wealth, which of course is not what I recommend. But it's still fun to read about. Some of them have very aggressive and impolite behavior. Like Wednesday is walking down the sidewalk one day and this woman charges her with her Birkin bag, which I thought was very strange. So Wednesday has a hard time assimilating, especially into the preschool. So she's at this fancy hoity-toity preschool, and she was saying to her husband how she couldn't believe how people were so rude to her. And so he said, oh, it can't be that bad. So he dropped off the kids one day, and then when he came back, he said, you're right. They really are. And there's this part in the book that says, we marveled that these women had determined that even the most basic and commonly observed tenet of the social contract, returning a greeting, was for chumps. They were above it. So funny. She's such a good writer. So basically, you'd say good morning to someone and they just wouldn't even look at you or return it back, I guess. I don't know what you have to do in order to get a greeting back from some of these people, but it's quite funny. You know how I always write about how you should dress to respect yourself and to respect other people. Well, it's slightly different here, what she writes about in the book. So she takes the example of real estate agents and the way that they dress and how the way they dress is a certain language. So I'm going to read this little excerpt here from the book. And she says, brokerage's language is clothing. The seller's broker dresses to channel the respect she wants to garner for her seller. The buyer's broker dresses to impress and intimidate the seller's broker and to project an image on behalf of her prospective buyer, who in turn dresses to convey her seriousness to both brokers. If she is extremely rich, she can dress down, thus conveying that she knows that they know that she doesn't need to play this game. They are all dressing up for her. It all culminates in a kind of dress-off in lobby after lobby, showing after showing, day after day. So funny, but so true when you observe people and the way they do things and the motives behind why they do things. It's quite fascinating. She writes in here about the exercise clothing trend. We are afflicted with that here in Santa Monica, how everyone just wears Lululemon all the time. And we become desensitized to these tight leggings and how revealing they are. She writes about how women will do anything to wear the newest and latest and trendiest thing first before anyone else, including wearing a sundress in a snowstorm, for example. So there are many, many more hilarious and interesting anecdotes. I think the crowd who likes the Real Housewives of New York City right? Which is, I used to watch that show before it just, all of those shows just became so bad, so where everyone's just screaming at each other all the time, so I stopped watching them. But the reason why I initially watched them was because I like seeing how other people live and what's important to other people and how other people spend their time. So if you like that type of thing, like I do, you will love this book. And it's fascinating to take a glimpse into this world that so few of us are able to look into. So for that reason, I really do recommend Primates of Park Avenue. Make sure you pick it up and check out my blog this week because I am doing a giveaway for it. Simon & Schuster are giving away a copy. So check out my blog. And if you read this book, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Okay, thank you very much, and I will see you next time on the Daily Connoisseur. Bye!